Hi, this is Bob Lobel, New England sports legends. Hank Finkel is our guest and our legend this week. Hank, well, he went to the University of Dayton. He was drafted by the Lakers. He came here to Boston. He played for Red Auerbach, but his sin was to follow Bill Russell, who never lost, basically. And what an awful thing that must have been to, well, the good news was you're in the big leagues. The bad news was you're following the greatest player that ever played, and people kind of expected you to be the second greatest player that ever played.
Well, I was playing for San Diego prior to coming to Boston, and at that time I was 27 years old, and Pete Newell called me in the office. He was the general manager of the Rockets. They're the Houston Rockets now, but they started off in San Diego. And he said, how would you like to get traded to the Celtics? Well, hell, everybody wanted to play for the Celtics, and I was elated. I mean, so in the middle of the summer, I got traded to Boston, and I thought it was terrific initially.
Initially.
The problem was nobody takes Bill Russell's place, and after the first couple of games, and we lost more than we still won. That I think.
Well, your coach was Tommy Heinsohn, but it was a different team, and
well, JoJo was a rookie. Nelly was still on the team. Satch was still on the team. Dave wasn't even there. Dave came in '70. Anyway, so the fans got on my case. They blamed me for not winning when Russell and Sam Jones had just retired the year before.
Was there any way you could figure that out? Was there any way, rationally, you could understand how they felt? Because it seems illogical.
I did realize why they felt that way is because they were used to winning. And when you got Russell and Sam Jones, Casey Jones, Heine, a few other guys, you're going to win. Having said that, they were gone. And it just wasn't the same team anymore. And after the first year, I was so frustrated. They were calling me names. They were booing me.
Really?
It was really a tough year for me athletically.
The first year that you...
Yeah. And I went into Red and I said, Red, I'm done. I have my degree, I graduated University of Dayton. I had my degree. I said, I'm done. And nobody was making any money back in those days. It's not like it is today. And I said, I'm going to done. And Red said, relax. He said, we're going to get you some help. I said, well, I don't know what the help is, but I don't want to go through this another year. This is terrible. And I said, relax. We're going to get you some help. You know who the help was, don't you? Dave Cowens.
That's good help.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And once you start winning, the fans love you. Everything reversed. It just turned around almost overnight as soon as Dave came.
I still find that, I understand it. I just find it hard to believe that took place. And maybe you could just elaborate a little bit about how uncomfortable it was.
I was predominantly a scorer. In college, in San Diego, I was predominantly a scorer. I come to Boston, I'm still predominantly a scorer. They say on my best jump, they could slip the Sunday newspaper under my feet, So I was not a rebounder and I was not a shot blocker.
They were cruel.
Oh,
Really?
and because I couldn't play like Russell did and win as many games as Russell did, all the blame went on my shoulders. And I played a different game than Russ. And fortunately, Red could pick out what I could do well, and he also knew what I couldn't do at all. And he's the one, throughout the years, when you got shooters like JoJo White and Paul Westphal and Don Nelson and John Havlicek and Dave Cowens when he was playing forward and these guys, and I was a big, strong guy, and I could set a pretty good pick. And when we're playing against Kareem and Will Chamberlain and all these big guys, Nate Thurman,
wow.
I could block them out. And you got rebounders. I didn't have to get the rebound. The other guys got I just had to keep the center away from the board. So he knew what I could do and what I couldn't do, and that's why it worked out after Dave came.
It just feels to me like it would, in the stands, it was so unfair because, who didn't understand what was going on? Who didn't understand the difference between Bill Russell and not just Henry Finkel, but everybody else. I mean, I don't know. It just, I mean, here we are, like decades later. It must still hurt to go back and relive that stuff.
I used to go quite a bit when Larry and that group was playing, because I was still younger. Oh yeah, it was great basketball, you know. But the game has changed so dramatically now. You know, now it's a shooting game, it's a three-point game, and it doesn't appear that there's much of a philosophy on defense anymore. You know, so it's a different game. But when Larry and those guys played, like you said, everybody wanted to go, and that was fun to watch. I don't understand the game now that well. You know, it's more of a perimeter game.
Do you go now anymore?
No. I'm older now. You know, I'm 74 years old, and when I used to go in the locker room and grab a Coke and then stand in the archway, you know. Well, now you have to have a ticket, which they give me tickets a couple of times, but you have to sit in the seats, and I don't fit in the seats, you know, that well. So it's not that easy anymore.
Yeah, and plus why? I mean, you know, if it's a different game, it's a game that you don't like, I'm not crazy about. It's either a three-point shot or a dunk, one or the other. Or where's the intermediate game? Where's the Havlicek game between?
There is none.
There is none, and that. But Red did preach it at that time.
Yeah, Red used to say clearly. He used to say, "I don't care who it is. If he's got a better shot than you, get him the ball." And that meant the guy was closer to the basket than you were, you know. And that was Red's philosophy. That's why he won so many games. But the game has turned around. Now they got the three-point line. We didn't have the three-point line.
I know. Now
they got the three-point line.
Tell me about, take a deep breath here and tell me what you think the three-point shot meant to the development of the game.
That's a good question. It became more of a shooter's game now. You know, there's not much defense played anymore. Like you said, you're either going to shoot the three or dunk it. If you tried that against guys like Dave Cowens and Willis Reed and Nate Thurman, you know, there's no shot at getting the dunk.
These are all legends. No, these are all
these guys
great
were
players.
Tough guys, and they plug that middle up very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, but these kids now can shoot that long range shot. They can shoot the three-pointers. You know, the problem is, the best three-point shooter only shoots what, 35, 38%,
Right.
And some of those scores are 80, 78. You know, and when we played, it was 100, 110, or 120. Right. You know, the scores were higher.
True.
It's a different game now.
It wasn't too long ago the best place for fact-finding was the library. The route from here to there was a trusty glove compartment map, and the best way to get a new automobile was to ask your neighbors about theirs. Now you just Google it. At Banks, it's no different. Google us and you'll find that we are in fact New England's highest volume GM dealer. And you'll also find some of the most positive reviews in cyberspace. But if you prefer doing things the old-fashioned way, talking to the neighbor with the Bank sticker on their car still works as well as it ever did. Banks Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC, Concord, New Hampshire.
Campers, have high expectations when you are shopping for a new or used RV. At Cold Springs, you can freely browse hundreds of campers that are unlocked so you can comfortably take your time and shop. Come see the nation's most popular brands: Primetime, Sanibel, Crusader, Tracer, and LaCrosse. Newly added this year are Flagstaff, Surveyor, and R-Pod. At Cold Springs RV, we are big enough to give you the best price. Have high expectations when shopping for a new or used RV. Cold Springs RV, Route 114 in Ware, New Hampshire. ColdSpringsRV.com.
You don't know how hair loss feels until it happens to you.
If you're struggling with hair loss, there is hope. With the amazing solutions at Hair Club, you can go from this to this.
That was the old me, and now I feel great.
Hair Club is a trusted authority on proven hair loss solutions. So call to speak with our hair loss experts to discover the solution that's right for you.
I absolutely love my hair.
I felt that it was going to be good. I just didn't know it was going to be that good.
And Hair Club's proven and tested solutions are backed by our 100% commitment to satisfaction guarantee. For details and conditions, call or go online.
If you're not happy with the way you look, call Hair Club. It might be the best call you'll ever make.
Call within the next 5 minutes to receive your free information kit and reserve your free diagnostic analysis, which will help us determine which solution is right for you. And if you act now, you'll receive $250 off any hair loss solution. Hair Club, old proven hair loss solutions. Call or go online now.
Now you brought up Collins before. Is he like the greatest you ever played with, or? I mean, you named
Well,
some huge names here. Havlicek was pretty good.
The one thing about Collins is I remember he played the same way in practice as he played in the game. He
Wild
played
man.
all out, 110% every night, and I got a lot of lumps on the back of my head from Collins in practice. But he was great for me because he ran all the time and he forced me to run all the time. I was good for him because I was strong and I could, make him work harder too. I'm not saying I was a Dave Collins, but I made him work, and it worked out well for both of us. Having said that, he was the best player I ever played against, but he was one of my team members. And probably the other guy on an opposing team was Willis Reed.
Yeah.
6'10", about 270, strong as a bull, aggressive, but not dirty. Aggressive, could shoot, could rebound, could block shots. He's a heck of a player also. And then you have Wilt, who.
I mean.
What can you say about Wilt?
Right. I mean, really.
And Kareem, and Nate Thurman, some great players out there then.
Not quite the same when it comes to the big guys, the bigs this game.
I don't know enough about it anymore, but they got 30 teams in the league now.
Where's the talent coming from?
There isn't. When I came out of college, I think there were like 12 or 13 teams, and each team had 2 legitimate Hall of Famers, superstars, Hall of Famers. And nowadays there's 30 teams and just not enough.
It's not unlike the National
talent.
Hockey League. There are not enough talent to stock the teams.
Great talent,
Yeah, but every team had 2 or 3 great players.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it's as a result, there's a lot of teams that never have a shot of making the playoffs.
Isn't it interesting that if you get caught in the middle, you're dead?
Yeah.
It's like the Celtics.
You either got to wind up down here or up
Totally.
here.
If you get in the Middle Earth,
It's not going to work.
you can't work your way out of it.
No.
If the Celtics try their best to
Yeah.
wiggle their way out of it, but it's almost impossible. That's different. That's new. That's
Yeah. The one thing Red could do is Red could build a team. He knew talent. He knew how to put it together. He knew how to keep it together. He made very few trades. He didn't make any trades back in those days. He kept the ball players, but he knew exactly what each player could do. And when you went in, and I think it was I know it was with me, because I was of limited talent, and I consider myself a fringe player, He used to sit me down before I used to sign 1-year deals. He used to sit me down before every contract and he would say, listen, you do what you did last year and you got a job. Meaning, don't think you got to start playing 35 minutes a game. Don't think you got to start scoring 15, 18 points a game or getting rebounds. Don't think, don't start complaining. Sit there. I knew what my job was. And I always had a job. I was a backup to Collins and I knew it. Perfect for me. I was getting older. I was satisfied with that. Everybody wanted to come to Boston in those days because you had a shot at a championship. And we won the championship in '74.
What was that like?
Great.
Where's your ring?
I gave it to my son many years ago. I never wore it anyway, I got fidgety with it on, and when I used to wash my hands, I would leave it places. I always got it back because I had my name on it, but I would leave it places, and just it didn't work out well. And
But you got it.
I'm not a jewelry guy anyway. I don't wear necklaces and rings.
But you got
bracelets.
you gave it to your son.
I gave it to my son.
What about these sneakers you're wearing? Jimmy, can we see these sneakers? Or,
Yeah, we're going to cut in on those.
Okay, just tell me about these shoes. This is like...
These sneakers, I probably have maybe 20, 25 more pair of them up in my attic.
Really?
Unworn? Pardon me?
Not worn? Worn.
No, some of them are worn, some of them are not worn. And back in the old days, when we started training camp, in our locker, there would always be 6, 7, 8 pairs of sneakers, a couple by Converse, a couple by Adidas, a couple by this, Puma, whatever. And as a result, you only wear 1 or 2 pairs during the course of a season, maybe 3 pairs. So you had 5, 6, 8 pairs left over.
Get paid for wearing them?
No.
How much money do these guys get paid for wearing their shoes?
More money than I made in my career.
I know. I would say that it's absurd.
If anybody, maybe Collins and Havlicek, but I don't know that.
Right.
I don't know that,
But still, I mean,
But
today.
these sneakers got to be 50 years old. and I've been wearing them probably 10 years already. And if you'll notice, one of them is brand new, or like brand new, and the other one's used. That means I got another set of sneakers in my attic where one of them is used and the other one's brand new. But
Well, they must
actual,
be comfortable if you have worn them for 50
oh,
years.
yeah, these are great. These are game shoes. You
Really?
know, these are game shoes. Back in
Size
17.
17.
Yeah. These are shoes we wore in games, you know, because like I said, nobody got paid, and everybody had the same amount of sneakers, so
Size
they're
17.
convenient now. As a matter of fact, I even gave Cowens a pair. I used to go down to his camp when he had it at Wheaton College
Yeah.
in Norton. I sent my granddaughters to his camp, and he said, "Where'd you get those sneakers?" I said, "My attic." He said, "Got another pair?" I said, "Absolutely." So I brought him down a pair of sneakers. Green.
Is he 17 too, or?
I think he's 16.
I'm actually the shoe size of everybody you play with. I don't think that's fair, but I would go back to that's pretty impressive.
I think he's 16.
Now, what if I said I'm a 16? No, I'm not. I go to 14 wide, but that's pretty impressive. Game shoes 50 years later.
Now, see, back in those days, though, they didn't make a 17. The shoes went up to a 16.
Yeah.
So if you needed a new pair of shoes, you had to wait for it.
It was a Bob Lanier that had his were like 22 or something. I don't know.
Oh, he's a big fella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't get off the fans thing, and
that was difficult. I'll be the first to admit,
okay,
I wanted to quit.
Yes, you said that.
Yeah.
Have you talked about this a lot?
No.
No.
I try not to dwell on it, no.
Well, okay, so you must really be upset with me here because I'm dwelling on it.
No. You can ask me any question. I know I'm down here to respond, you know.
Yeah,
but having said that, it worked out well. And I say that because Dave came, you know, we had the nucleus. We had JoJo, we had Havlicek, we had Nelly.
But you didn't mind being the object of their displeasure just because the guy retired. Did Russell say anything to you about?
Never.
I'm sorry.
No, Russell left town, I think.
Yeah.
Russ wasn't here anymore. He left town. It was brutal. It was uncalled for and brutal. You know.
What would you have said? I mean, if you could, I don't know.
I told Red I wanted to quit.
I know you did. You told me that. If you had a chance to say, well, I don't know. Hey, but you stayed here. I mean, so things must have gotten better.
Much better. We won the championship in '74.
Yeah. And then they stopped booing you.
And they stopped immediately. Well, they stopped immediately when Cowens came, because the thing that fans want to see is a winning team. If you're a losing team, you're going to pay the price.
But Henry, you know the fans back then are nothing like the fans now.
Well, these fans now are more sophisticated, I think. You know, and the game has changed dramatically also. But having said that, the fans back then, there were all the college kids sitting up in the rafters, you know, and it was nowadays. I think the fans come in three-piece suits and a burgundy tie. You know, it's a different game because the tickets are all $100 a piece now, or $150. You know.
Yeah, I just was fascinated by that experience that you had.
No, you wouldn't want to be in my shoes.
I don't think so.
No,
I think you're right. First of all, I wouldn't fit. They're too big for me.
That was tough. That was not easy. That was
probably It wasn't too long ago the best place for fact-finding was the library. The route from here to there was a trusty glove compartment map, and the best way to get a new automobile was to ask your neighbors about theirs. Now you just Google it. At Banks, it's no different. Google us and you'll find that we are in fact New England's highest volume GM dealer. And you'll also find some of the most positive reviews in cyberspace. But if you prefer doing things the old-fashioned way, talking to the neighbor with the Banks sticker on their car still works as well as it ever did. Banks Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, Concord, New Hampshire.
Campers, have high expectations when you are shopping for a new or used RV. At Cold Springs, you can freely browse hundreds of campers that are unlocked, so you can comfortably take your time and shop. Come see the nation's most popular brands: Primetime, Sanibel, Crusader, Tracer, and Lacrosse. Newly added this year are Flagstaff, Surveyor, and R-Pod. At Cold Springs RV, we are big enough to give you the best price. Have high expectations when shopping for a new or used RV. Cold Springs RV, Route 114 in Ware, New Hampshire. ColdSpringsRV.com.
You don't know how hair loss feels until it happens to you.
If you're struggling with hair loss, there is hope. With the amazing solutions at Hair Club, you can go from this to this.
That was the old me, and now I feel great.
Hair Club is a trusted authority on proven hair loss solutions. So call to speak with our hair loss experts to discover the solution that's right for you.
I absolutely love my hair.
I felt that it was going to be good. I just didn't know it was going to be that good.
And Hair Club's proven and tested solutions are backed by our 100% commitment to satisfaction guarantee. For details and conditions, call or go online.
If you're not happy with the way you look, call Hair Club. It might be the best call you'll ever make.
Call within the next 5 minutes to receive your free information kit and reserve your free diagnostic analysis, which will help us determine which solution is right for you. And if you act now, you'll receive $250 off any hair loss solution. Hair Club, old proven hair loss solutions. Call or go online now.
I assume it was probably the most difficult part of your professional career.
Oh yeah, because everything worked out. In San Diego, I was a scorer. You know, I was playing a lot. I was
Did you
scoring.
no boot there, right?
No.
Any place else you played?
Los Angeles. I played for the Lakers, but I didn't play at all there.
So you couldn't get booed.
No, I couldn't get
So
booed.
this was the only.
And the second year in San Diego, they drafted Elvin Hayes, so we started winning. And once again, the fans love a winning team. So I got a lot of playing time in the second year in San Diego, backing Elvin up. But we were winning games, you know. And then after that, I was still young, and I thought I could play in that league, you know. So I asked to be traded.
It's interesting. You wanted to come. It was exciting for you to come here, and then again, it must have been so disappointing for you in that first year.
I didn't realize it was going to be as rough as it was. I mean, it was rough. You know, the fans were unmerciful.
How can that be? What would, do you mind?
I think it was mostly kids, you know, mostly college students.
What would they say? Can you mind saying?
Oh, they were cussing me out. You know, one guy, he stuck his hand out, and I went to shake it, and he pulled his hand
Come
back.
on.
Another, it was something I wouldn't want anybody to experience. It was not easy, but thank God, you know, I could go up and talk to Red, or I could talk to Heine, and
he was your coach, right?
Yeah.
Was he a good coach?
Heine was.
Was
all 7 years, 6.5 years. I got released in my 7th year. Yeah.
He was your coach the whole time.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Was he? He got booed pretty well too here.
Yeah, he paid, not like me, but you know, they have a certain amount of blame they put on the coach when you're not winning.
Yeah.
And I was the one that took the brunt of the load, you know.
Why did you stay here? I guess that's the question. You put your roots down here in New England when all these people were just treated you like.
Well,
that you wouldn't treat another person.
No, I made it through the first year. Not easily, but I made it through the first year, and then I went to talk to Red, and Red said, "We're going to get you some help." Well, the only thing I could do at that point was take his word for it.
Yeah.
You know, and he got Cowens.
Yeah, I get it.
You know,
I get it. But so
I came in '69, Cowens came in '70, and we started winning.
So there were after 6 years, after 5 years here or whatever, things got better, and you were able to put that first year behind you.
Yeah. I actually played for this. They released me in my 7th year with Boston. I played 6 full years.
Yeah.
And I was a backup to Cowens. I knew it. You know, I could. He was used to the college game. I could give him some help in the pro game. You know, not much because he was always a great player. But
you did
worked out well for both of us. You know?
You also did some television, just like Heinsohn. You didn't coach, but you did work at Sports Channel, I think, as an analyst for this.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was great, except for the fact that I did not feel comfortable behind the camera.
Yeah,
you know, you got to feel comfortable behind the camera. I'm listening to you now, rattling off questions. I couldn't do that.
Of course you could.
You know, I was nervous.
That's a learnable skill.
Yeah.
No, it is.
It probably is a learnable skill.
I mean, you have stuff that I'm fascinated in. So, if it was the other way around, I mean, I'm still fascinated in the fan Finkel interaction, but I understand it.
Just out of curiosity, were you doing sports when I got traded to Boston?
What year was that?
'69.
I was doing I was not doing sports.
So
I was in graduate school.
You didn't witness the.
I did not witness
it
in person. No.
Ah, okay.
See, that followed the Red Sox. Everything's connected here. It followed the Red Sox in '67, so they were, and I followed Russell, so they were really used to riding pretty high in this town.
Yeah.
And no, I did not. I was not here when you were booed.
It was different.
It was different. Well, I really appreciate you coming in to talk about it.
Thank you
because
for having me.
I think a lot of people, don't know the story, have forgotten the story.
Well, that's a long time ago.
Or we're
though,
part
for
of it.
that.
Yes, it is a long time.
Yeah.
Hard to believe. But they might have been part of it. You know, they get
Yeah.
probably some of these audiences.
Yeah,
There might be some guy who was out there that would shake your hands and pull that back.
yeah.
You know what? Shame on you.
And the name calling was outrageous.
What'd they call you?
Everything, cussing me out, everything. Just everything.
What?
Primarily cussing. You know,
Like
I can't use the language.
what?
here, I
Like
wouldn't-
lazy or slow or I don't know. Stuff that-
comparable. It's just name calling, booing.
Why? I don't get. See me. That is.
I guess I wasn't Bill Russell. You know,
That is the answer.
and nobody is.
That is the backup answer. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Boy, it was great to talk
Take
to you.
care.
Really.
My pleasure.
Hope you learned some things from this. I did. Thanks for being with us at Phil Castinity's Sports World here in Saugus, Route 1. You got to come to the store, and I hope you have a chance to meet Hank Finkel and tell him how much you appreciate it. Well, wouldn't that be nice if somebody came up and said thank you?
Oh, they do now.
They do.
Oh, sure. Oh, many of them do now.
No, this is
Sure.
good. Okay.
It's turned around completely. You know, it's not like it was just the first year.
Yeah.
And
So
maybe half of the second
so
year
they
when
come
Dave
up and
was there. But
they-
now it's a pleasure.
autograph now. This is
Yeah,
Henry Finkel.
it's
Really?
pictures taken,
Oh,
autographs.
this
and,
is cool.
and I'm not opposed to.
I forget. I take it back.
No, I'm not opposed to having a picture taken with somebody. I still get the little bubblegum cards where I sign them and I send them all back.
Really?
You know, it's it's changed completely.
I'm
it's
really- you
it's
know what?
wonderful around here now.
I'm very happy to hear that.
It was just that first year.
Let's pretend that never happened. Well, you know what?
It's
You
not-
can't. You can't forget
you
it.
Can't. No, you can't.
All right. Well, I take it back, unless you were one of the perpetrators. For Hank Finkel, Bob Lobel, Sports Legends New England. Thanks for being with us.